banned refugees from Syria. I banned refugees from Somalia. Very dangerous places. And from all of the most dangerous places all over the world, I banned them. I said, I'm sorry. And in my second term, we're going to expand each and every one of those bans because we have no choice. Some very rough people, some very, very rough people come out of those areas. They want to blow up our country. We aren't bringing in anyone from Gaza, Syria, Somalia, Yemen, or Libya, or anywhere else that threatens our security. But I will say this, tremendous numbers of people are pouring into our country right now. We have open borders. It's the stupidest thing anyone's ever seen.
All right, everyone. So today we're taking a deep dive into some pretty concerning news that's been circulating.
Yeah.
It's about potential travel restrictions. And from what I'm seeing, it looks like Afghanistan and Pakistan are at the center of it all.
Right. They seem to be the main targets.
Yeah, and the really unnerving part is that it all seems to be happening so fast.
I know. It's a rapidly developing situation.
You know what's interesting about all this, though?
I thought.
Well, this whole thing, it feels a bit like deja vu, you know? Like we've been here before.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, this isn't the first time the Trump administration has tried to implement travel bans.
You're right. I mean, those previous bans, they were hugely controversial. Remember all the legal battles and protests?
It was a complete mess.
It really was. And what makes this whole situation even more concerning is the impact it could have on Afghans who risk their lives helping U.S. forces.
It's a devastating thought, right? Think about it. These people, they put themselves on the line for us, and now they might be shut out.
Yeah. I mean, there are thousands of them, literally thousands, still waiting for resettlement or visa approval.
It's like we're turning our backs on the very people who stood by us.
It's a terrible situation. And, you know, there's been talk about potential exemptions for these Afghans, but honestly, I'm skeptical.
I get it. I mean, given everything that's happened in the past, it's hard to be optimistic.
Exactly.
And then you see statements from organizations like #AfghaniVac urging Afghans with valid visas to travel immediately. It just highlights how urgent this is.
Absolutely. And it really underscores the unpredictability of it all. I mean, things could change drastically overnight.
It's a heartbreaking situation for these individuals.
It really is.
You know, aside from the immediate human cost, it makes you wonder about the bigger picture. Like, what kind of message does this send to our allies around the world?
That's a huge question. It's not just about immigration policy here. We're talking about global perceptions of the U.S. and its commitments.
Exactly. If we abandon those who helped us in Afghanistan, what does that say about future collaborations, about trust?
You hit the nail on the head. This whole situation could seriously damage America's standing on the world stage, especially if it looks like we're targeting specific religious groups, you know?
Or if we just ignore the plight of those who were there for us when we needed them.
Right.
So you've been following all of this very closely.
I have, yeah.
Based on everything you've seen, everything you know about the past, bans, the legal challenges, the potential fallout, both here and internationally. What do you think is going to happen? What are the most likely outcomes?
Well, predicting the future is, you know, always a bit tricky.
Sure.
But I think it's safe to say we'll probably see a repeat of what happened before. You know, more legal challenges, public outcry, international pressure.
Especially with the whole Afghan angle, right?
Sure.
I mean, people are going to be outraged.
Oh, absolutely. That's going to be a major focal point for sure.
So ultimately, it's going to come down to how the administration responds to all of that.
Right. How they navigate the legal complexities, how they handle the public and international pressure. That's going to determine where all this goes.
One thing's for sure, it's a deeply concerning situation. And we'll definitely be keeping a close eye on it.
Absolutely.
We'll make sure to keep everyone updated as things develop. But for now, for those of you listening, I want to leave you with this thought. How do you think all of this will affect the U.S.'s role in the world? You know, what signal does this send to our allies, to our adversaries?
It's a big question.
These are questions worth thinking about, worth discussing as we try to make sense of this increasingly uncertain landscape.
I agree.